Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL. And today is another one of the elongated arrowheads, this time without mistakes. How about that? Um, Elongated arrowhead, this time it's going pointing towards the middle. So the first half is coming downwards and the second half is going upwards, which is opposite to the last one we did. Um, and I have to say, I really love this. I can't even get over like how it turned out. Um, as you know, when we make the patterns, you kind of look at it and you're kind of like, I see this is, you know, possibly going to look really good. The colors don't quite give it that oomph that you get from the actual bracelet, but you kind of get a gist of what's going on. And yet somehow the bracelet seems so much more extraordinary than what the image was playing up to being. And I absolutely love it. I really like this bracelet a lot. In fact, I'm contemplating the possibility of doing it in a double because I would like to see what the spaces in between turn into, because it would be very, I don't know. It kind of reminds me, when I think of it, it kind of reminds me of like the Turkish lamps, the very colorful ones. I feel like the middle part would kind of look like one of them. And I think that would be gorgeous. And if it turns out as nice as I think, then the next progression would be to make a bag out of it. Because then coming all the way around the bag, you would have that Turkish lamp kind of look. And I would really like that a lot. Um, I'm not sure how big a bag to do though. One of the things at the last event that I was at was people liked the small bags. I thought it was kind of interesting to just carry around a bit of money and your ID and stuff, but they were looking for bigger ones to maybe hold a cell phone, and so I don't know how many strings would be necessary to actually pull that off. Um, how big around, how to really make that work. Um, but it's something I'm really considering. I seriously, this really changed my mind on the overall pattern. I was kind of concerned with the fact that when it's going, when it's pointing upwards, is feels a little bit trickier, and that since that was going to be the second half of the whole bracelet, I was concerned that that would be a thing. I was also, I really got concerned towards the middle. I was afraid that I was going to accidentally go past the mark, because in the pattern the red and the orange are very close in color, and I was afraid I was going to make a mistake. And I was I was checking like every knot against the pattern. Like, okay, are we sure on the side is supposed to do this? Are we sure this is? And it ended up working out fine. I get a little bit scared at times, and that's okay because it just makes me concentrate a little bit harder. Makes me make sure that I'm doing things properly. The overall bracelet took about 2 hours, a little less, like maybe 5 minutes less, something like that, maybe 10, um, which is nice for a 16 string bracelet. Not bad. 8 colors, which again, this is kind of like the smallest we can go with a single stranded because of the kumi loops, that you need 8 strings minimal to make the kumi loop. So yeah, I can't even just praise this one enough. This really just came out so good. Um, Hopefully you guys give it a try. I could see it done with a fade of colors and still looking just as remarkable. Um, because honestly, when you look at this, you don't really see the rainbow as much, even though it's starting out with the blue and going all the way in. Um, you don't see it as much because it goes from the blue to the orange in the middle, and then the yellow and green are kind of off to the side, so it doesn't fully go through the entire rainbow in the arrowhead part, you know, the zigzaggy part. So like the green and the blue end off at the edges, and because the green is such a bright kind of green, it sort of fades in with the yellow a bit, so you don't get it looking like it's a cold color as much as it would have if I had gone with like a darker or richer kind of color of green. So that's kind of a thing, which I really like. I like the fact that it fades in so well between the green and then into that light blue that it's almost unperceivable from a distance. You just see the energy of these zigzags going into each other. It kind of looks like a sound vibration, like you smashed a cymbal really hard and somebody was trying to show you what that sound vibration looked like. It might actually be something like this, which I just absolutely love this pattern, even more than the previous one where it was, you know, kind of going out from the center. That one's fun, and I've done things a lot like that in the past, so that makes this one, you know, just different. And I guess because it's so different is maybe what I like about it. I don't know. Okay, we are past the halfway point. I almost forgot. Let me please just thank my YouTube members for making this possible. They get to see all this stuff early. They get to watch the behind the scenes, you know, where I'm making the bracelets itself in real time. Obviously, this is sped up quite a bit because otherwise we would have a 2-hour video of me making it. And I suppose if we did it in real time, I could talk to you in real time. I wouldn't have to do the voiceover part like I'm doing now, which would be sort of cool, except for it'd be a 2-hour video. And honestly, most people can't stick around for more than a few minutes before they move on to something else. So yeah, I don't think we're ready for 2-hour videos here just yet. We can talk about it. It's a possibility of something I can physically do. It's just a question of, is that something that anybody else really wants to see? I don't think so, but you know, but I mean, I do it on live streams anyways, like the actual member streams when I'm making this stuff. Like people can actually tune in as a member and watch in real time and talk to me in real time, and yeah, that's a thing. So I don't know. It's it's $4 a month. That's the part that blows me away. Like honestly, you'd be surprised how far I stretch that in getting more string, and we just got some equipment to try to do some of the kumis. We're gonna try to video making the kumis so that way there can be more educational parts on like how to set it up and what the colors were and how to do it. I did a short video where I showed somebody how to set up the disc to be ready to do a certain number of strings, and a person was upset that I didn't go all the way and show you how to do the next step, how one goes up, one comes down. So I want to do that. You know, that's in the works. So we're already expanding from what we usually do to some new ideas of crafts and stuff. So lots coming your way. It just takes time. And yeah, we taking advantage of some sales that were going on. So yeah, we'll hopefully my camera works. There was some problems with it earlier. It looks like maybe I've got it sorted. We'll see. But yeah, we're definitely getting towards the end, aren't we? We're back to the cold colors and the purples and stuff. Yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else. Oh yeah, the red and the orange were the strings that got used the most. So I use them as 2 of the strings in each of the braids, because then we're pulling it through, you don't have to pull as long as strings long, and then divide the other 6 strings up into 2 other groups, braid out the tassels. There was no trouble with the strings being too short. Again, cutting in thirds kind of pretty much eliminates that, which is nice. I feel like I may have forgotten something. I got a little too excited with all of this stuff. How happy I am with the design, and I feel like maybe I forgot stuff. If you have questions, leave it in the comments. I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. I probably check daily to see if there's any comments, so I do what I can. Time zones though make it weird sometimes. It might not be right away, but that's just time zones. I'm in Singapore, which is like halfway around the world from America, so it may take a little while, but I do get back to people. Yeah, the big reveal's coming up. This is coming into the end of it. So yeah, hey, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please hit that like button, and as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.